Last night, I left the garage door open. I don't have any indicator that tells me it's not closed, that I didn't hit the button or it didn't shut all the way when I did hit the button. So thank God nobody stole anything. We keep a decent amount of stuff stored in our garage. Door was open all night long. So today, we're going to solve that problem. I'm going to show you a fairly easy fix to hopefully remind you that, hey, you left the garage door open. So hang on and we'll get this project started. So some of the stuff you're going to need for this, I got these little LED indicator lights. I went ahead and bought a 2-pack. It was like $3 at Radio Shack. Yeah, believe it or not, they still have a Radio Shack. I was as surprised as you are. And then I went to another store, local electronic supply store, and just got a little contact switch here like you would use on an alarm system. It's a normally open, normally closed. That way you can set this up one of two different ways with the same switch. So the next thing I did was threw a little bead of solder on these wires just to make sure that they stay in place. And then I've drilled a hole through that gang box there in the light switch out into the garage, and I'm going to feed this wire through there out into the garage to be able to hook this into everything else. Now, unfortunately, it is about 8 inches over from the door jamb, maybe even 10 inches. So I can either just leave it as a hole, or I can come back and put something over it to kind of hide it. I may put some type of a switch cover over that just to hide the fact that there's a hole there, or I may end up just putting some a little bit of silicone or something in there just to seal it up and be done with it. So I ran into a little bit of a hiccup yesterday. For some reason, my garage door opener, it's a very old unit. When you start trying to run off the same power source, it for some reason it just messes up the unit. It doesn't want to function properly. Can't run it off of the switch. Can't share power with that particular switch. Can't even run a second set of wires off the back of this. It for some reason completely bypasses the switch if I do that. It will not let the open and close switch function properly. So we had to come up with another plan. So I'm going to have to do a self-contained battery pack for the LED itself. So came up with this idea. Just soldered some wires on to this little battery pack. This gives me plenty, it's 3 AAA batteries. Gives me plenty of power to run the unit. Bought this little deal here. It's just a blue electrical box. It's got a lid cover. Painted it white. Got it at Lowe's. Maybe $2 for the both of them. Maybe barely over. Gonna paint it white. I'll kind of show you here in a minute more of what that's gonna look like. Went to Walmart and got one of these $1 LED flashlights. And then this battery pack and batteries was actually in it. So for $1, I got this and then soldered some wires to the end of it to give me my power source. So we're gonna have to do this a little bit different than I originally had hoped. I hate the fact that I don't have to change batteries at some point, but ideally the light's gonna be off most of the time, so shouldn't have to worry about it too much. Shouldn't drain the battery very quick as long as I do a good job of keeping the garage door shut like I ought to. So I'll put this together a little more and show you more here in just a minute. So one thing I do want to point out real quick is because of the design in this box, you'll notice there's a gap right there on both ends between the actual box and the lid. So when it comes to running my wires, I don't even have to drill holes in this to run the wires. They'll run right down through there, which will be beneficial later when I need to remove the batteries. It'll give me plenty of access to pull that out and be able to get to it safely to remove the batteries. When I go to mount this on the back here, I'm going to drill 2 small holes use some small sheetrock screws to mount this with, but I do want to pre-drill this. This is kind of a hard plastic and I don't want to take a chance on it cracking. So I hung my box. I'm pretty lucky. I've got this void right here where my garage door was framed out. So let me keep this sideways. So you can see I've got this little empty spot here, and that box fits back in there really well. And then when you're standing out here, you know, you can't see, you have no idea that it's even there. So that works out pretty good for me. So I'm gonna store everything up in here, put the lid back on it, and then kind of show you how all this works. So you can see I've got wire coming out the top, wire coming out the bottom, and I've just got these temporarily hung up here. I've got my cover back on, so my battery, all my connectors are in there. I'll actually come back and, you know, reroute this wire, hang it properly. I've got one side, I've got the magnet side mounted to the top of the door. The contact side here with the wired side is mounted to the door frame. And these are, I mean, they're a touch in almost, but you literally can leave probably a good 1.5 inch gap between these if you want to. You know, that's pretty strong magnet compared to what it takes to pull that relay open and closed. So you don't have to get them real close like that. So, all right, got everything put in. Like I said, I temporarily ran the wires. I'll reroute those here in a little bit. I'll actually put them up permanent. Garage door's closed. You come in the house. There's my panel with my light. Lights out. Crack the garage door barely open. It's open, you know, 5 inches maybe. Lights on. So now we'll shut it. And lights out. So there you have it. So anyway, it was a little frustrating that I couldn't run the power off of this unit like I wanted to. I'm not sure what the situation was with it. I tried rewiring that thing 700 ways to Sunday. Every time it interfered with the wall switch just would not function properly. Even if I wired direct to this, the wall switch stopped working. So I don't understand what that's about, but hope this helps some of you out. It's not a real expensive project. You know, yeah, now I'm gonna have to change out batteries probably 2 or 3 times a year, but whatever. It's a whole lot better than me having my house broken into or all the crap stolen out of my garage. You know, I got less than $20 wrapped up in this little project and pretty excited about it. So at any rate, post your videos, show people how to do little projects, get the word out. Thanks for watching.